Go.
Hey everyone, this is Luck powering on.
We watched a TV show over the last couple weeks slash
We did?
months.
Oh yeah,
We
that's right. We saw
did.
Vox Machina.
Yeah.
We did.
It's been great. Vox Machina 10 out of 10 show, honestly. I understand it's not quite as good as Mighty 9, but really if you're I can't I
It's a
can't
different flavor, but still good.
I can't continue that with a straight face. I do love Vox Machina though. We have both been invested in D&D stuff lately. I'm tired actually because of D&D stuff from last night. But that's my business. What can I say? I DM a little bit on the side. It's a fun time. What today we're here to talk about the Sea of Monsters season of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Disney Plus show. We already reviewed the first season in an earlier stream. You can go check that out on my VODs channel. We also have reviewed the Sea of Monsters book. And if you don't know, of course, we are is in this book club of
Nerds.
Olympus that we have, as you can see on the big old title over here. Yeah, we're fucking.
Oh
There's
yeah,
been
that too.
reading like all the Reardon books in order. We're currently like halfway through Heroes of Olympus. So Sea of Monsters was a while ago for us, like almost a year ago for us. Almost like this time last year we were
Oh
reviewing it.
goodness, it's basically like a memory at this point.
It is. It is. I remember also we both really liked that book. I think that book is sometimes viewed as being weaker than Lightning Thief, and while that's not true, we both did find a lot to love in it.
Yeah, I
Um
mean it's weaker in comparison to the main gripping one that drew the most people in.
on the other
Which,
hand, I kind of view this show so far in reverse, where I think the Lightning Thief season was like fine, it was like pretty good. I think this is the one that actually drew me in and was like, okay, I think you've managed to sell me on this version of the universe. I think I'm in now. Did you feel that?
it started to grow a lot more in depth, and in a weird way, I think it also felt a little more mystical, whimsical, a mix of the both.
High levels of whimsy. Also like kind of darker than the first season. Kind of significantly darker than the first season in a lot of ways. In a way that I kind of missed, right? Like I think one of my criticisms of the first season of Lightning Thief was that it was like first season of Percy Jackson Disney Plus. I don't know how to
Yeah.
refer to these. I I guess just the show versus the book series. First season of the show, one of my big criticisms was that it like wasn't mean enough. Honestly, they added some of the mean back in. I think they added they added some of that back into the mix.
Yeah, not going to say the spoiler just quite yet, but what happened to Percy at the end, it was just like, damn, bro,
They're mean
I
to
kind of
Percy in
like it.
particular.
Yes,
Like good, like mean, affectionate.
exactly. Bully the child. It's great
I
cinema.
keep on insisting like half the charm with Percy in the books is just how much he suffers. And I know with you're making your way through Mark of Athena. You're starting to understand exactly how much Reardon is
Yes.
willing to push his suffering sometimes. Um, and like they're adding
I
some of that in
can
here.
take a
They understand that
suffering
he's
from you.
not take it from you. No, not at all.
No, in this case, it's granted, and then
Yeah.
some more.
There was like a point at like episode 6 I want to say where I was like, oh yeah, I think they realize Percy's at his best when he's just having a bad time. Which there are only 8 episodes to this one, by the way, because that's how modern TV works. I guess you get 8 like hour and a
Yeah,
half episodes. Maybe they're like 40
yeah, it
to
was kind
30
of
minutes
dense.
in this case.
Yeah, I would say despite it just being 48 episodes or 40-minute 8 episodes, it was still pretty dense.
It is decently dense. They cover more ground than the movie did. We also actually reviewed the movies in that one, the one where we
The
reviewed season
movie,
1.
the second movie was better than the first movie, but neither of them are
Neither of
up
them are
on the
very good.
charts.
Neither of them are very good,
Yeah.
but the second one, I have a soft spot for the second one. Um, I think it's the little movie that couldn't in my you know. you feel bad for the little guy, yeah, and he had
I
interesting art direction. It was.
I still find the funniest thing is they basically panicked to put the movie back on the book rails after the first movie derailed it so much.
We're on the other hand, haha, bringing it back. This series, if anything, further derails some of the tiny divergences season one had. This is quite different from the book in a lot of ways, keeping the spirit of it for the most part, which I like, but the moment to moment plot details couldn't be more different sometimes.
Yeah, it was kind of like a lot of the small, like you change a small thing and it feels so big with the way they did it, even though it quickly gets back on track when like the next episode.
So if you think
Like, yeah, this is going to be what we will talk about a bit later, but something is Annabeth kept a secret, and then that actually caused friction between her and Person. Like, I remember you and I was saying, like, damn, are they about to go off rails before they realigned?
There were points where they went off and then they kind of came back around, and then they went off and they came back around. Sometimes they really, really went off the rails. They
Yeah.
also I it was no, it definitely wasn't just me. They definitely wrote this season with some level of expectation that if you hadn't read the book, that you at least understood where it was going, right?
Mhm.
There were several times where they did a plot thing that was like, okay, the only reason they would do this if they just assumed that the viewer already knew that this was going to happen. I'm trying not to spoil right this second. We'll save that for when we do our episode by episode breakdown. Um so
Yeah.
so yeah, there was there
Uh,
was there
the
was that
big
aspect of it, which on that note, I would say this is, I don't know, if you're like some kid trying to watch this instead of do your book report, you're probably not gonna.
Lily, this is
Yeah.
a TV show.
Well, you know how it is, right? You would like, when you're a kid, you have a book report due, you'd go watch the movie or the adaptation instead of like actually reading the book, and you do your report based off of that, right? You might like
Oh,
spark
okay,
notes it to
okay.
figure out what happened differently. And I would say this one really would not benefit you by doing this. You're not gonna look you'll
For a
you'll get
brief
you'll get a
moment, I
C
thought
on
you were
that
saying,
report.
yeah, for a brief moment, I thought you were saying don't use us as a replacement for the book.
No, no. No,
Which,
no,
I
we're here
mean,
to
true
guide
for
you.
when
We're
we
here to
actually do
guide
talk
you
about
through
the
these
books.
books. We're here to guide you through these
Yeah,
books.
but I think the big thing before we get into the episode by episode is I personally was quite down with a lot of the changes they made. I know a lot of people would probably be like, oh, this isn't accurate, or it should have been more like this. Like, I don't care. It was still good.
There was one change that I feel like it would not surprise you to hear that everyone was on board with it. Can you imagine the one before I get into it later on? I'll
Is it the season finale?
Yeah, a bit. I noticed I put out some feelers. It seems like people were pretty on board with that change. They were like, not saying anything
Mhm.
that's not true.
Yeah. Well, then, shall we get into it?
Yeah. Before we start, I guess, we both liked it. Yes, good.
Yes,
Looking forward to Titan's Curse.
of course.
Looking forward to. I saw the kid they cast as Nico. I feel so bad for him already for so many different reasons. Uh,
Oh, I can't. The best part about his casting is he looks like he could be traumatized.
oh, he has those big eyes. He has those big like Home Alone
Yes.
eyes. It's great. No, yeah.
Traumatized this kid, Rick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which I think it's funny because of the way that casting works in these things. I think the actor at the moment is 14, which is
Mhm.
how old he is during Heroes of Olympus. Uh, so it's fun. I've seen people like posting pictures of him being like, like this is what Nico looked like when, when he was held captive by Gaia, or whatever.
This is what Nico looked like when. Spoiler.
Yeah. This is what Nico looked like when Eros forcibly outed him. Whatever. Like.
Oh no! Is that when they find out?
Oh, let's not worry about that for now. Let's not worry about that for
Yeah,
now.
let's burn that bridge when we
Yeah,
get to
we'll
it.
burn that. I'll be surprised if they even do the Nico is gay storyline with Disney Plus being the fucking Disney
Disney.
Corporation. I'll be
Yeah.
shocked if they even do it. We'll see. I'll
I personally really hope they start planting more seeds for it as a change for that coming season.
Me
I don't
too.
have hopes for it, but I personally would want it.
I mean, Percy Jackson has like, especially as you go on, a decent amount of queer characters. I wish, I hope that they like stick to their guns with that and don't like tone down anything. I'm thinking specifically, especially of like Trials of Apollo, whenever they get around to that, because like the fact that one of the main villains is one of Apollo's exes is like very very important to how you understand that plot. For
Mhm.
one, and also like the main person that Apollo's like pining over the most is like Hyacinthus. So I hope they don't like do a turn and make it all about Daphne. And like Daphne's great, we love Daphne, but like that's
Make it gay.
let him be pansexual. Let him be a little pansexual icon. Come on. Come on.
Exactly. It's necessary.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we have our hopes for future seasons if they ever even get that far, who knows.
Mhm.
By the time to get around to there, they would definitely have to change things, right? Because the actors would keep on aging and they couldn't.
Yeah.
I've told you before that like the entirety of like Heroes of Olympus through Trials of Apollo basically takes place over the course of like one really wild year. Like,
Mhm. I will be honest, I would not be surprised if they stop or recast after
they might
the
have,
Battle of
yeah,
Manhattan.
yeah. They might have to stop, might have to recast, might have to, or they might just have to change the stories to make it where each one now takes place over the course of a year individually, which
Oh yeah,
would
true,
change
true.
some things, but I think mostly you could actually like still manage it.
Yeah. If you just put the progression of time in and just be like, oh, okay, whatever prophecy is just
Hmm.
happening a little later, like no one's gonna bat an eye
And of course, who knows if these actors want to be in like 10+ year
for the long
contracts?
haul. Yeah.
Yeah, even just the five, I imagine, is already a lot.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. Now I'm ready for the episode to episode discussion. Now I'm ready.
All right. To start off with, new demigod,
New demigod.
Allison. Yes.
Yes. Oh
Uh,
yes. Yes. The OC. The OC they added for this one.
mhm. We definitely will have more to say about her later, but for now, she jumps Grover. It was kind of
Yeah, she
funny.
does. Allison.
Grover. Hmm?
I was gonna say Allison in the series kind of acts as our like representation, I guess, of the other faction, the opposing faction of demigods. Since characters like Ethan Nakamura aren't really going to be relevant for a few more entries. So she's here to act as like representative, basically, while Luke is having his whole moral crisis in the background.
Yeah, Luke is definitely a lot more emotionally just against the gods. Uh, Allison
Allison's
is
gonna get
emotionally in
shit
support of
done.
Cronus. Yes. And that is a very nice difference because, as we know in the books, Luke is the one to ultimately save the day, and him showing some signs of conflict definitely makes you think like, oh, maybe he's
So
not all
we
that bad.
we spoiling shit now. I mean, I knew implied we were
I
spoiling
we
shit, but we're
already
spoiling shit now.
weren't we?
Yeah, I guess.
The
I
book's
guess.
like a decade old.
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. I mean, he didn't
Yeah,
save the day in the book, really.
he technically, if you squint your eyes, fulfilled the prophecy.
Yeah, a bit.
Hey, if it's good enough for Rick, it's good enough for my excuse
It
here.
was it was it was different. It was different the way he saved the day here versus the way that he did in the book. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was different. I mean, there wasn't even. Well, we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, episode
yeah.
one,
But
you see the capture of Grover by Allison. You
yes.
get a peek into this like alternate faction of demigods. It's gonna be our main antagonists aside from Kronos and the Titans and all that, which we haven't even gotten there yet. So don't worry about it. Can't
Yeah,
wait to see who
technically, we
they
don't even know
cast
about that
as.
yet.
Can't wait to see who they cast as Atlas next time. It'll be fun.
That's
Um,
gonna be fun.
yeah, yeah. My first note was that this is an absolute speed run of an opening, and it really is, right? Like we start off, Grover captured.
Grover
Very next
dies.
scene, Tyson is like not only is Percy
Just
familiar
casually
with
with Percy.
Tyson, yeah, he's living with them, which is a change from the Tyson never lived with them in the books. I'm glad he does here. Because poor, oh,
He's a
poor
boy.
baby. Oh my, poor baby. Oh, I, I felt, I felt so bad for Tyson over the course of this entire season. He is such a sweetie, and he's clearly been through some shit. When I say that this series is meaner, affectionate, half of what I'm talking about here is how mean they are to Tyson sometimes. The son of Poseidon, the sons of Poseidon cannot catch any fucking breaks. Um,
It makes it all the better, in my
yeah,
opinion.
so Tyson's been adopted by Sally. Valid. He's
Sally being the goat again.
living with them. They're going to school together.
They also completely were like, we're not making a surprise reveal. He's just a
Yeah.
Cyclops.
In the books, Percy doesn't realize he's a Cyclops at first. In here,
Yeah.
it's just like he knows. He knows immediately. Of course, he would know. It's weird that he didn't know in the book, honestly.
It was definitely a
Yeah.
case of Reardon wanted to make us question things.
They surprisingly keep Tyson as a Cyclops for the entirety of the season. They do not even do like like even in the movie, which was a much higher budget, they like did a couple,
Miss
they gave
Spray.
them mist spray so he could just be, so the actor didn't have to be with the special effects all
Yeah.
the time to save on budget. Over here they were like, no,
But as
Cyclops all the time, and the
yeah.
budget was cut in
But
other places.
yeah, I was about to say, but as a result, Grover lost his legs and so did
As a
Chiron.
result, Grover and Chiron sure are shot from the waist up a lot.
It's especially noticeable in the little final
Yeah,
episodes.
it's they just get him from that high angle the whole time. It's great. Um, so
Yeah, speaking of which, they also saved budget by just not having centaurs, but we'll get into that later.
they did. There weren't many centaurs, and again, the initial part they really speeded up. There's no thing with like the volleyball with the Laestrygonians is mostly, they don't call them Canadians in this one. I'm sad. I'm sad
But
about
they do
that.
not.
I'm sad about that. Why you should have called them Canadians? That was funny. That was the setup for a joke that would happen 6 books later, and I'm sad they didn't. Because Frank's Canadians. It's great. It's great. But they
But
so they cut that out. They leave the whole dance as like a bonus thing, as like a little bonus scene. They clearly shot it and then they cut it from, like, honestly the whole initial sequence kind of has the feeling of like, oh, there was definitely a time where they had a longer, more indulgent
sequence
sequence of this, but like they really cut it
condensed.
for the sake of like speeding it the fuck up, which is
Yeah.
surprising, consider, I mean, like,
It felt like they
yeah,
really wanted a fast track to get straight to camp for this episode.
they did because they weren't really lacking on time. The episodes on average like seemed shorter than what we got with the first season. A lot of times there were some episodes that were only like 30 minutes long. They were not,
Yeah.
they're not lacking in time, maybe lacking in budget a little bit, but I don't quite know the intricacies of that, but they had the time real estate
Yeah.
for it. So
I'm rather okay with them kind of condensing and getting to camp quicker, since are we really here for middle school drama?
I'm a little bit. A little bit.
Okay, I will concede it's nice to see Percy getting kicked out of every school he's going to.
Yeah, he doesn't even get expelled this season. Doesn't even get expelled this season.
He doesn't. And that's an integral part of him.
Yeah.
It's his pain.
Speaking of which, Percy's whole I know in our analysis of Lightning Thief, I really went hard into how Percy's whole his place in the story as like a problem child basically is really important to his character, how you understand his character and like the allegory they're going for here. Um that seems to be diminished here a bit, and in general I noticed that a lot of times both his and Annabeth's rougher edges were sometimes sanded away.
Said it. Yeah.
Now he's still got some moments. He's still got some good moments. I think his moment at I've seen that moment of like when he explodes the water cup at Cersei's like many times, and people have been posting edits of just like how much of an unhinged little freak he is, and like yeah,
They're not ready for book Percy. He is. There's the reason I've been calling him Percy, the audacity of this bitch Jackson.
yeah, but he's I just, I just still, my mind immediately goes that we're not doing the Mark of Athena review today. That's next week.
You know, next
But
week, next week.
immediately my brain thought of that scene where like he's talking to Bacchus, and
Oh,
he's just like mouthing off to him the whole time, and just Piper just kind of turns to him like, "What the fuck are you
Boy's like,
doing?"
are you gonna get us killed, bro? And the person's like, I literally don't care. Hey, Mr. D.
Like, "Yo, Mr. D, smite me. You won't, you won't, pussy."
I told you on Bacchus. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Mr. D.
It's it's insane. The level of audacity in that one versus this one definitely, it's definitely been
Yeah.
diminished. It's definitely been diminished. He is a sweeter, nicer boy here in the same way that they took away. Okay, so in the book, this is my first, like, okay, this is a change that I think was probably for the best, even if there are some ways that I dislike it. In the book, Annabeth, of course, is a white blonde girl. And they give that white blonde girl a little bit of a monster racism arc, where she's kind of monster racist in the
Oh,
book.
yeah.
Where she doesn't like Tyson very much, and she says some things about him that are, it's pretty clear what they're going for there. Now, Annabeth in the series obviously is played by a young black girl. And sensibly, they realized that they didn't want to give the young black girl the racism arc. you know,
That
good.
is one of the
I'm
things
glad.
I'm most glad about being cut.
Even if it has the side effect of like sanding away some of her rougher edges, definitely a choice for the better. I wish they gave her something else though. I think so. My thumbnail for the Sea of Monsters book was like a big old like pic, like, a big old you get the, the book
Put the lime in
cover.
the coconut and
Annabeth
mix some
is
coconut.
Odysseus was like the whole like tagline of that one. That's because that book
Yeah,
is like,
that's.
she is directly compared to Odysseus multiple times, and the book more or
Mhm.
less is her arc in a lot of ways. She's the one that grows the most. She's the one who's like in charge of the quest basically. It's like her story in a lot of ways. It's the time where where you start finding out a lot about her as a character, as a person, what she wants, why this whole Luke thing is really tearing at her. She's the
Mhm.
most important
Now,
character in that book by a lot.
now that I think about it, I don't think they really talked much about her relation with their parents, have they?
No, they haven't. Outside of her
And
little, like, she didn't really understand how to live in the normal world thing.
yeah,
Um, so, in the series here, Annabeth's role is greatly diminished in favor of boosting up Percy as the overarching main character. And then you also have Percy's rougher edges being a lot of times diminished in order to give Tyson some of his emotional beats, right?
mm,
Because like in the book, right, Percy's really like upset about how he feels kind of left behind by his father, and he's feeling jealous over the fact that Poseidon seems to be handing out more
the
blessings.
Tyson.
He claims Tyson really quickly. Tyson seems to have all these abilities that Percy doesn't have. um
Mhm.
Percy's feeling down in the dumps because he's feeling a little neglected by his father. Where on the other hand, in the series here, Tyson is definitely the one who's feeling a little less than, and he basically absorbs Percy's arc there. So you're kind of left with like, I don't know, you have like your three main characters ish, you know, debatable whether
Yeah,
Tyson's the third main character or whether it's really, there's five, right? So it's like Grover, Percy, Annabeth, Tyson, Clarice. Those are our
yeah.
those are the
A
ones here in
lot to
that
deal
mini.
with.
Yeah, yeah. You have a lot to deal with. Clarice has a bit of an ascended role, and that you get much more of her captaining the ship.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot going on, and in the midst of that, it sometimes feels like our main characters do not have the most to do and do not have the most to like rise above. You know, which is kind
Yeah.
of why like when you get to the late season and they start putting them through the ringer, like physically, it's you start to appreciate it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Though that's not to substitute for some of the character growth he could have done. At least it's something.
I'm willing to accept it as as a step in
Concession for the
the
future.
as a step in the wider story that may pay off later. And I
Mhm.
and I understand from a utilitarian standpoint why for your series Percy Jackson, you might want to make sure that
Percy
Percy
Jackson.
Jackson is the main character and also that he's relatively likable. Um,
Yeah.
so and also, I'll even admit that the conflict that they do give Percy and Annabeth, which is that like initially their relationship is like kind of rocky because neither of them talk to each other over the course of the break, and
Oh,
because they
I
were both.
completely forgot about that. Where
Yeah,
Percy
yeah.
was even like, "Wait, you had a drachma and you never called?" And Annabelle was like, let's not talk about that.
And she's like, "Well, you had a drachma, you never called." Yeah, let's not
I
talk about
just
that.
got that from my
Yeah,
mommy. Why are you
yeah,
so
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. So they are. There's a little bit of trouble in paradise. Mercifully, it doesn't. I do dislike when they do like relationship melodrama. They cut it off so soon that you did kind of forget. I might have
Yeah.
forgotten if it wasn't in my notes here.
In fact,
Um.
I'm pretty sure it's like in my episode 2 or 3 notes. I'm still looking at episode 1, and
Mhm.
I just saw my jump scare note.
Ah. Well, we'll get there when we
Yeah,
get there.
we'll get into episode to it.
Yeah, so they're having issues. They're having issues, the two of them, having to do with trust and openness. They're not even really officially dating yet at this point, but
Mhm.
they're having to deal with those things, and I think for the most part it plays like pretty well, all things considered. I think a lot of it is pretty believable from both standpoints. Why Annabeth might want to conceal some certain things from him, why she's being anxious about all this, but also why, he's maybe being a little pushy about some of these things, why he is having a hard time understanding. Just these are two
Yeah,
idiots who, don't quite know how to speak to each other yet.
they'll get better.
Yeah, yeah. And they do get better as you go on in the series, and they do start to hash it out, and once they get over a certain emotional hurdle, it's not drudged up
Yeah,
5 billion times. Once they're over it and they move on to the
uh,
next thing.
yeah. Like literally after episode 2, it's like never brought up their melodrama again.
Mhm. Okay. Episode 2.
Yes, I'm holding my tongue for the jump scare.
Oh god. My first note is about Tantalus, the cannibalistic king that gets. Well, he's not really a
Mhm.
cannibal, but he did serve up. He did serve up his children in pies, something like that. Um,
He thought it was to venerate the gods. It's fine. That's how it works, right?
I don't think that's why he did it, but sure. Um,
Oh,
the cannibalism thing is mostly cut. Boo.
yeah. Lily was rooting for
Boo.
it like multiple times.
I was. Yeah, I have very little to say about him. Tantalus is a character who in the books is at the end of the day largely inconsequential, and and right here in the series he also continues to be mostly inconsequential. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna move
something
right
that
past him.
it, yeah, something that is a little different from the books is they're declared renegades and are to be killed on sight of Tyson, Annabeth, Percy.
Yeah, yeah, sure, why not? Clarice's sent on the quest officially, and the three have to run away, and
Yeah.
it's all
Oh
that.
yeah,
It's all
Chris
that.
Rodriguez name drop.
Chris Rodriguez name drop. He's not particularly like the book version at all. But also, I don't remember him super well from the book because he's mostly just as an ascended extra that's eventually there to just date Clarice. Where here he has like a whole plot line of being, an agent of Luke, the whole double agent thing, and
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Honestly, when they're talking about double agent, I thought like, are they just gonna keep it like not known so we can then eventually get the reveal for
it's like
heck,
pretty
why am I forgetting the
obvious
book's
pretty
name?
early on, huh?
Yeah. What was her name? Silena? I was thinking it might tie back to her for the
Selena.
future, but yeah.
We'll worry about Selena when we get there. Oh my god, it actually did just occur to me like, oh shit, are they like kind of combining the characters of Chris and Selena here a bit with that move? That might
They
be.
might be,
God, I hope
but I
not.
think I think they also might be just doing a thing of we'll keep it ambiguous if we will or not, just so that way we may or may not have to deal with more casting in the future. We'll find out. Basically,
Canon
studio exec issues.
Canon, Gay, Clarice, and Selena are like on my Christmas wish list. Like I sure hope they don't combine those two.
Yeah, because this will definitely be a lump of coal of just merging them together and making it be a
Yeah.
boy.
Like ew. Ew, straight people. uh
Well,
unlike
there goes some
unlike
of the.
unlike
I'm kidding.
Percy and Annabeth, who as I kept on insisting are wife for wife. I
They're basically gay for each other.
there's a difference to that. Oh my god. Here, a quick aside. I know I showed you
Okay.
the Tinkerbell movie Secret of the Wings, and that's like probably
Yes.
the next thing I'm gonna be working on here.
Yearning.
A little Tinkerbell Pixie Hollow book series video.
I'm
That's
fully
probably gonna be like
expecting at
3 hours
least
long.
20. Yeah, expecting 20 minutes of those 3 hours to just be
Yeah.
talking about nothing but those two yearning.
Oh yeah. So there's this one couple, very important in Secret of the Wings, that I bring up because they had a whole book about them written recently, Wings of Starlight, that came out like last year, I want to say. And like those two, it's definitely like I don't know. I think one of the reasons why that relationship in particular is taken off is because it feels gay. It like is straight, but there's something that feels gay about it. I think it's the fact that they're both fairies for one. So no matter
Yeah.
how you draw Lord
What do you mean?
Lothlorien,
Isn't he like a experiment or something?
shut the fuck up. I don't ascribe to that. I don't ascribe to that. They the book goes out of its way to draw him much more effeminately than the movie does, for one. And also, like I've seen exactly one smutty fic about the two, and it involves pegging. So
Of course.
it was so like it's all I'm saying. There you know when like straight pairings written for gay people hits different. It hits different, and you know it when you see it.
Yeah,
So Percabeth is that. Percabeth is that. I insist. Um,
I see.
what else do we got here? What else is in my notes? Okay. So, oh yeah, so they have the whole chariot race thing where you find out that Chiron had ordered Annabeth to not cooperate with Percy, to not help him, because like the winner of the chariot
Yeah,
race is supposed to be the get the next quest. Yeah.
yeah,
Chiron insists that Percy absolutely cannot be on the next quest because he knows about the great prophecy, and is pretty certain that that involves Percy. And
yeah,
it kind of leads to a sequence of events that's like kind of like what happens in the books if you squint a little bit, with like maybe also
read upside down.
yeah. There was a moment where I was kind of like, oh hey, is this almost supposed to be like, the books are just from Percy's perspective, right? So while
Yeah,
while the while the series expands the perspectives, shows us what the other characters are up to. Is the idea supposed to be like in the books Percy assumes that this is why she's like being reticent, but then we find out the real reason here, and not really, no, like, it's just kind of like the same exact events, but like here, Percy doesn't really know why she's doing it, and it's whatever.
yeah, and more or less, all that really culminates is like Tyson's like, "Hey, Percy, this is what Annabeth said," and then Percy's just like, "Well, fuck it, I'm leaving without her." She comes by, and then she's like, "All right, you're not leaving without me." They more or less just talk it out. They just agree, like, "All right, I know you can't tell me everything, so just tell me what I need to know in the moment," and that's more or less the compromise. And then, Lily, do you want to bring up the jump scare?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel
Yeah,
Miranda.
so he plays Hermes, and every time he shows up on screen, we
We
both like
scream, we
scream
do.
out loud. Um,
Yeah, I think I scared my dog the last time.
yeah. So he's there to give them the the vitamins, the multivitamins. They're to do drugs with
Mhm.
his nephew. Just like in the Odyssey. No, except that's his like great grandson in the Odyssey. But same same difference.
Here it's look at my son. Save him from dying, please.
Yeah, yeah. That's more Percy having the audacity over there. We did skip over the fact that the chariot race was kind of fun, and it's probably like the last like really great example of practical of like a cool like stunt thing they do, right? I think
Yeah,
later on.
because yeah, I know for a fact I don't have a note of this, but I want to bring it up while it's on topic. Literally later on when they had another horse, it was kind of just at like a casual trot when it was supposed to be a high-paced scene.
Yeah, yeah. There's later on. There's a few scenes there where you're like, they didn't have the stunt coordinator there that day. They could only do so much. Um,
Yeah.
they had the stunt drivers and the stunt riders there only for a few set days, and when they were gone, they were gone. So they had to make do. Um, So Clarice, of course, as happens in the book, actually wins the chariot race, while Annabeth and Percy focus on actually saving everyone from the monsters that come to attack. And
Powers of a boombox.
to all of our surprise, Clarice picks Annabeth to go on the quest with her. She almost picks Percy because she's intelligent and realizes that, like, oh, this is a sea guy. We need to be on a boat. I want the sea
Mhm.
guy. I want the ocean man.
But
And
then
Annabeth tells her
Brutus.
no. Annabeth tells her no.
Yeah, she's just like, "Hey, man, you gotta trust me on this," but like that's a terrible thing. And then Clarice says, "Shut up, Jackson."
Yeah. Then the Lin Manuel Miranda jump scare happens, and Annabeth basically abandons Clarice and goes with Percy anyway. After
Yeah,
all that,
that was like one of the main moments we're thinking, like, are they about to jump off the rails of how are they going to handle things?
kind of feel
Uh,
bad.
but but no, it looped back on itself.
Kind of feel bad for Clarice. She's left alone. Like all of her
The
quest mates
funniest
abandon her.
the funniest part is she was also told to think like her prophecy was like, oh yeah, to fly without friends you die or whatever, and then
Yeah.
she literally gets abandoned like day one. So
Day
what is she
one.
left to think?
Yeah, it's which we of course see how she manages to make up for that, or rather, her dad does in a bit. But for now, it's the end of this episode, very end of this episode, that Annabeth
Mhm.
mentions like mostly why she didn't call, which is just that yeah, it seems like she's having a hard time adjusting to mortal life, which is really interesting to me. It's like I don't know. It's how do I put this delicately? Poor baby got PTSD, I think. She's talking like a soldier who doesn't know how to live as a civilian anymore. And I think that's fair, honestly, considering all the shit she's been through.
Mhm. I mean, didn't she literally leave when she was like what 7?
She ran away from home really young. And
Speaking of which, they also had flashback sequence where you're able to see young Annabeth. You're like,
oh,
oh
she's
shit, that
such
looks
a
like a tiny
baby. She's like
baby.
a toddler. That was distressing. That was
Yeah, just,
also
Luke, why are you so irresponsible? Put that baby in camp.
it doesn't help that that it's the same actor for Luke, so he looks exactly the same. So he still looks like 19. Uh,
It was kind of funny.
yeah, yeah. So you're just like, oh, he hasn't changed a bit. He's like brother, you're almost 20. Like, get this toddler off the streets. But like they like mess up his hair a bit and give him a beanie, and he like slouches a bit to try and make up for it. But it's still the same actor.
Smaller, yeah.
Still the same actor. It's still very blatant. But yeah, poor Annabeth here got PTSD. She does not know how to. She does not know how to acclimate to mortal life whatsoever. Also considering I just got to the part in Mark of Athena where she actually mentions the exact circumstances of her running away. So thinking back on that, it hits hard. Oh, I'm gonna get sad. I'm gonna get actually sad.
We will cross that bridge when we get to
We
it.
will. Okay, episode 3. Percy at first pretends that he's cool with Annabeth not telling him the secret. And then I think he realizes he's not. They try and like they basically make a safe word at first, you know, where it's like
Yeah.
he's gonna trust her, and then if he does something that like maybe brushes up on the prophecy too much, she tells him, what's the word they make up?
I don't know, but my note says I'm kind of sad they didn't use Odyssey as the safe word.
They have some kind of safe word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write it down. And yeah, Percy's immediately like, oh shit, no, you could just say that now to win any argument ever, and I believe you personally would do that actually. So, which yeah, he's correct. She is the type of person to do that. Uh,
Oh wait,
hmm?
the Queen Anne's no wait, no, that's the wrong ship. What was
Wrong
the
ship.
ship called?
I don't know. I don't know. Luke's cruise
The
ship, the
yeah,
Andromeda. The
Luke's
Andromeda.
Princess Andromeda. That's what it was. Yes. That ship. It's very nice. I would understand why someone would defect to Luke now. Like that's a great ship. It's a full ass cruise liner.
In my brain, it was like a smallish one, more yacht than cruise ship, but you know,
Yeah, that's what
more
I
like the
was
size
thinking
that they had
too.
in the movie. But here, it's like a proper big like
Cruise
Carnival
liner.
cruise, like
Mhm.
hundreds of rooms cruise liner. And
Yeah.
yeah, it does look nice
Also on the
actually.
topic. Yeah, also on the topic of ships, Clarice got her ship too.
Yeah, so having been completely abandoned, she gets a boon from her father, who does not is not really doing any favors as he's doing this. Uh
Mhm.
like so he gets her a ship, and he gets her some soldiers owe who owe him basically because they fell in battle.
Yeah.
And in the books, it's like they're like just Confederate soldiers. They mix
Yeah.
it up here a bit, which I think is wise.
I really, 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 really appreciate the fact that it's not just the Confederates.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cringe. I think would have been pretty
Y-
cringe.
It would have been. I remember I was cringing at it back at the book of like, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but like, damn it. But here it's just like we got streaming guy, we got Viking guy, French, English, and they sang sea
You
shanties. It was
forgot
great.
Blockbuster, man.
That streaming guy.
Oh, you mentioned streaming. Well, you should have been more specific. Blockbuster, man.
Yeah.
And he's not streaming
He
guy. He
died in the
lost in the
streaming
streaming
wars.
wars, but he was a Blockbuster employee. Very
Yes.
important. How the fuck did he fall in battle? Also, what happened? What happened, brother? What happened? Um. So yeah, she's given all these soldiers. She's given this ship. Also, I did just have a thought of like, oh hey, I wonder if the
Hmm.
real reason why they didn't put Confederate soldiers there was because now it's been confirmed that the Confederate soldiers were like at least partially Roman, and that wouldn't be a violation
Oh,
of later continuity.
I
Maybe it's a little
completely
bit of A, a little
forgot
bit of B.
about that. Uh, I feel like executives were down with it because of A. Reardon might have thought a little bit of B.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't play well anymore. Even in the books, they immediately regretted that decision, making the Confederates the Romans. They regretted that immediately. To the point where basically Jason's apologizing on behalf of the Confederates to Hazel. It's great. It's great. Amazing. 10 out of 10 moment. Anyway, he gives the
I
soldiers
hate
a
the
pep talk
Confederates.
that like was basically designed to humiliate Clarice more or less, where he says, you all owe me a debt, so you're gonna do whatever the fuck this little girl tells you to do, and you're not gonna squawk about it. And of course that immediately has them not liking her very much, because A,
Mhm.
nepo baby, and B, a lot of these guys are, you know, not necessarily from times or places that would have that much respect for a 14-year-old girl. We don't have that much
Yeah.
respect for 14-year-old girls now.
So she does the only sane and sensible thing. She bribes them.
She bribes them. She bribes them by saying that I will, you will go to Elysium if we do this
Yeah.
right. Which, by the way, she does not follow through on that even a little.
They all
That
fucking died.
that threat is dropped. Uh, Predictably, they don't respect her, and of course, Ares also pulls her aside and says, "If you fuck up, you know what happens."
Yeah, implied abuse again. So like, and that's pretty
Implied
good.
abuse. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
very fitting.
it's good in that it's fitting. Good in that it's fitting. Again,
Yes,
one of my criticisms of season one was that it shaved away some of the harsh edges a bit, and one of those harsh edges was the fact that like
Aries.
yeah, Ares was one of them, but also just in general that it like it's like the books were definitely about like the books in general are about like parenting and about
Yeah.
dealing with having a distant parent, about about subpar parenting, about dealing with abuse and neglect and all those things, where this season one kind of softened it a bit, right? It was a bit softer on the gods. It maybe the one good thing that it did, in my opinion, the one really good change it did with this shift in theming is that it showed us
Mhm.
a lot of Sally's experiences raising a
Yeah.
kid. But for sure, though, the fact that they kind of added in some of the harsher elements that they initially scaled back, I appreciate, because like I kind of view Lightning Thief as a perfect book, at least partially because it deals with all of those difficult topics in a way that I think is like easy enough for a kid to be able to digest, right?
Yeah. For its audience, it handled the themes great.
Mm-hmm. I just want to add some of that back in, to me, is appreciated. It even goes harsher than the books did in certain cases. We'll get to that.
Mhm.
We'll get to that. Episode 4, we get our first glimpse of Thalia. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, fun thing, interesting thing. I I like the casting of this series in general, but like I don't think any of the cast, any of the actors here have like replaced my image of the characters in my brain. I already had a pretty well ironed out image of all these guys in my head. I've had that image in my head for like years and years and years. Um, Walker is a fine Percy Jackson, but it's just not how I picture him in my head, you know?
Mhm.
Thalia's actor is so good and styled so well, and
She's definitive.
she's definitive. I think that's like actually how I think of Thalia in my head now. Like just
Mhm.
actually, which is funny because Jason in my brain is still a blonde white guy, but Thalia's
Yeah,
so
it's
perfect.
god nonsense. It's
Thalia's
fine.
so perfect. Oh my god, oh my god, perfectly casted.
Mhm.
Also, the actress is 20, so I I can won't be too
You
weird
put
about it.
down the
She's still
shovel,
young.
Lily.
She's still young, but she's very, very pretty, is what I'm saying. She's very pretty.
Yeah. Moving on, one of my notes here says, love the scene where Tyson says he doesn't like how Annabeth talks about how Percy's gonna hurt people because of the prophecy. He's such a good boy!
He
Tyson's great.
is. He's such a good boy. He's such a good
He's
boy.
such a good boy.
Actually, one thing I didn't mention earlier was that so Tyson in the books is very much like an analog for like a mentally disabled child. Maybe someone with
Mhm.
like lower functioning autism. As with the movie, they kind of scale that to more higher functioning autism, and I'm not someone who's intelligent enough to figure out if that's like a bad
Intentional.
move or not to do
Mhm.
so. I mean, I could see how if they tried to do a book accurate, I could see all the many ways it could go wrong. I've seen it go wrong so many times by so many other cases. Um, but in general, I think Tyson has acted and written very, very well. I think some of it still gets across well, even if maybe now it's more through implication than it is through text. Uh, yeah, we love Tyson in this house. He's our precious baby boy. I'm actually going to miss him when he's not in the next season. like so much.
Damn it, Poseidon, you poached our boy.
Whenever Tyson's not on screen, we should all be saying, "Where's Tyson? Where's Tyson?"
Where's our boy?
Yeah. So we see here though Thalia, we see like Luke with young Annabeth, which we joked about, but he is really sweet with her in a lot of ways, in a way that like you kind of start to understand, like, oh yeah, that's why she still carries such a
Yeah,
torch for him. And we see,
very
yeah,
brotherly.
we see that it's continued too, that like he still cares for her in a way that you don't get the impression of so much in the book. And the book's writes from Percy's perspective. He's
Yeah,
like incredibly confused that she still is so obsessed with him in a way. Here
yeah.
you're like, ah, I get it. Yeah, no, he still like clearly demonstrably loves her. And series Percy knows that too.
Hmm. Percy got a singular emotional brain cell.
I mean, I'd say he's like decently emotionally intelligent. I'd say it's like the one intelligence he has.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Was mostly just saying that for the joke of things.
Yeah. I mean, other brain cells maybe he's lacking in a bit, but he's decently emotionally intelligent, in my opinion. Um,
I'd say he's been able to clock things quite well when it comes to an emotional
yeah,
basis.
yeah. I think he's pretty good
Heck,
with that.
yeah, heck, he also clocked the Cersei thing faster.
They get that immediately. They get that, but like in this case, it's yeah. We all know it's the Odyssey. They've already talked about Scylla and Charybdis. Like, by the way,
Yeah,
that's my next note. Them talking about whether they should go to Scylla or Charybdis. Annabeth and Percy are like, obviously Scylla, just sacrifice 6 of the already dead guys, and Clarice, uh, like doesn't want to, and then she
she was
sails
like,
to Scylla anyway, and then also doubles back to Charybdis, which was a little like
she basically got the worst of both worlds with
she
that.
did, she did.
Also note, little cute thing of Percy saying, "Oh, I say we go with Scylla because Annabeth said let's go with Scylla, and I trust her."
Exactly, exactly. Love it. We love it so much. Um,
Yeah,
ugh, gosh, I sneeze. Gosh,
bless,
there we go.
bless.
Could feel that one coming. Okay.
Oh, also,
Mhm.
Tyson's dead. Totally.
Oh yeah, Tyson totally died in that ship explosion because the ship exploded, of course. Which
Yeah,
is why
and we all
we're
know.
which is why we're clowning on Clarice for doubling back, because she really that was quite the fuck up. That was quite the fuck up.
Yeah,
Which I'm not someone that thinks that if a character fucks up, that's like a plot hole. I think that's fair.
it's
Um,
definitely an in character fuck up,
mhm.
but you should still call her out on it because it was in character.
Clarice, I'm calling you out in character. Well written, calling you out in character though. That was you did wrong. You did wrong
Yeah,
and got nothing in the end.
Yeah, hypothetically, if we were campers back at camp and she was telling us this story, we'd say you're a bit of a dumbass, man.
Again though, this is literally her arc though. Her arc in this is that she kind of needs to be broken down by the end. She needs to realize that she ooh, hey, J Bent hanging out. Oh wait, let
Jabent.
me
Hey, what up,
there we
Jabent?
go. It was like behind us. Hey, J-Bent.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right now since I have the
J-Bent.
delay.
Hey, hey.
Yes, Jabento too.
J-Bent.
Jabont.
Ooh, we're like deep into the series at this point. Yeah, we're
We're
talking
only
about
halfway through. It's
Scylla.
episode 4.
Yeah, I mean it was like halfway. Let's get him out. Anyway, so yeah, Clarice kind of fucked up with that one. Um,
Yeah.
but it's fair because again, her whole arc is that she needs to be broken down. She needs to realize she can't do it on her own. That she, isn't the one with all the answers. Needs to work with her friends. She needs to actually have friends first off, and then she needs to work with them. And
Yeah, I
it's
feel
good.
like you
I like
first
Clarice's
start
arc.
seeing the walls break down with her being vulnerable with her men. Uh, so I would want to say, like, you know what, I could kind of, well, what we said before, in character, I definitely that's the way she would have gone.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a good arc though. If even if like I said earlier, you can kind of tell that some stuff was cut. You can feel that some stuff was cut. This went through like maybe one too many edits, cause I do actually consider the fact that whole Elysium thing was dropped, not even mentioned again after that, as a plot hole. I do
Honest,
consider that a plot hole.
yeah. Honestly, I'm not even sure how they would have been able to rectify that.
I don't know
So, like,
either,
I
but
understand
it's
why they Mhm.
but it is definitely a thread that is brought up and then more or less not,
dropped after
yeah,
they die.
dropped. Even if emotionally I understand what they're going for, I still like, just because of how the opening went, because of how a lot of stuff feels missing,
Mhm.
and how you can see that they did certain scenes that just never made it into the final edit, like with the prom scene that you see at the very end there. um I've gotten the sense that maybe there was an original edit or an original version of the script that had a lot more of those things put in it, and that they just kind of like cut it
Dropped.
out for one reason or another, whether budgetary reasons, time reasons, just wanting to tighten things up a
Mixed.
bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, for
It feels
sure.
like you dangle the plot line in front of us, and then that just leads to nothing.
Mhm. And again, pacing wise, I think it is actually pretty decent. So I think that alone justifies it a bit. But yeah, I there's some it's a bit easy. It's a bit too easy to see some of the cuts here, for sure. So knock against it, IMO. But hey, we see Tyson playing with Rainbow a little bit as Annabeth has her angsty flashback about the Kellogg's bracelet that Luke gave her. That was sad. That was really sad.
Yeah, and don't forget her flashback of her getting kidnapped.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole sequence with her Thalia and Luke is just kind of
Makes you
heartbreaking.
feel. Yeah, I was gonna say makes it feel bad,
Yeah, and again the fact that you used to have a really
especially the
young
fact that it's like
actress.
basically a toddler, and you're like, oh damn, things would be tough for them.
Yeah, you really understand that Annabeth PTSD. You
Yeah.
really get why she kind of messed up. Anyway, oh, I have like the one last note for this episode is that Percy's an Omega level mutant. Him like riding the waves of that big fucking shipwreck. It's not the last time he does that too. You really start to get the sense here. It's like, oh yeah, his powers are like busted. Actually, his
I
powers
remember.
are. Ooh.
Yeah, I remember you talked a lot about that when he got into his fight with Thalia.
And then in Mark of Athena,
Like,
him and Luke
kid
are creating
strong.
fucking hurricanes. He's very strong. Oh gosh, it's fun though. I like that. I like when there's a demonstrable like you get to actually see why they don't do big three children anymore. Why they don't like doing that. And it's like, yeah, these guys are terrifying. These guys are scary.
I'm trying to remember, did they get rid of that rule after Percy's deal with man or sports Battle of Manhattan, Percy's deal with the gods?
No, no, not to my memory.
Yeah, okay.
They were still like, yeah, you guys keep on creating Omega level mutants. This is no, you still can't. You just kind of like hand wave it, you know?
Hmm.
Because I mean, listen, if they dropped that rule, Zeus would have already had another 5 kids. Like,
Fair. The next book in the series of oh no, Zeus has been fucking around again.
God. Oh god. Okay, episode 5 is Cece's Island, aka Cersei, because they clock it
Yes.
Cersei
Then they
immediately.
clock it
Which
immediately.
is funny because if anything, Cersei's playing the like part of Calypso here.
Yeah.
So Cersei in the Odyssey, right? She is a powerful sorceress who just like hates men, you know, fair. Queen, honestly. Queen shit. She turns men into pigs, and just does not let people like leave her island alive. Where Calypso is a bit different. There is like
Demonstrably lonely.
there's debate. And also, you know, as much as I love Epic, it has muddied the waters a little bit on Calypso discussion in a way that I don't appreciate. But you're typically supposed to understand Calypso as a very, very lonely character, you know, one who's mostly for the most part blameless in the horrible fate she's found herself in. Um,
Mhm.
and one who just kind of wants someone to be with her in this eternal punishment she's found herself stuck in. Because the island is a punishment for her. Remember that. I've seen many people forget that the island is a punishment for her. Whatever. I'm not bitter about Epic fans. I'm not. That's a video for later.
Oh, I would love to see that video.
Yeah, so she keeps people there as best she can because she doesn't want to be lonely, and that's the feeling you get from Cersei here in this one. That, rather than just turning men to pigs because she hates men, she is keeping people here in this like 12-step program. Basically, she has like some like
She basically has a self-help
yeah,
program to get you off the island, because the entire shtick of it is, oh no, the sirens be there. The only way to get past the sirens is to conquer your ego.
which you can do if you follow my 12-step program, which takes anywhere from like a year or like a couple months to like decades.
Yeah, there's like one old woman. She's like, "Oh yeah, I've been here for like a couple decades, and I hope to finish the program soon."
Yeah. You later find out that really what she does is she just helps people cheat, right? There's like some special beeswax. She says that Odysseus didn't use just any type of beeswax when he went past the sirens.
Yeah,
They
the
had a
god of
special one.
beekeeping.
That special beeswax. She still has a supply of it, and she gives that to some people to allow them to cheat every so often, so she has proof that the program works. While she gets to keep the vast majority of people on the island with her because she's lonely and she likes to feel useful and help people. And it's good. It's relatable. I get that.
Still no.
We do literally though see someone die to the sirens. So it seems like occasionally someone loses patience and she just lets them
Yeah.
die.
Note this was a whole ass Roman.
It's a whole ass Roman on a speedboat. Also, the sirens are made of rocks. Me and Luck were actually debating, right? Are they going to do mermaid sirens or are they going to do harpy sirens? Because traditionally, sirens are actually supposed to be like bird ladies, but recent media tends to depict them as like mermaids.
Yeah, I
And
think I was betting on mermaid.
mhm. And or sometimes they're just like naked ladies. Sometimes that's also sometimes that's also the way they do it.
Yeah,
They are instead like rock golems here. They're like literal like rock. They like smash you on the rocks that are them. They are the rocks,
yeah,
which makes some kind of sense, I guess. Uh,
yeah.
they also and otherwise they function basically like the book sirens do, which is they show you your heart's greatest desire.
Hmm. Hence the whole thing of conquer your ego that Cersei was espousing.
Mm-hmm. She does still turn some people into guinea pigs, including Blackbeard and Percy, which is fun.
Yeah, this time it's either dissidents or those too close to the truth.
Oh
In
hey,
this case, you could probably.
oh hey though. Before that, I forgot to mention the scene where Percy explodes the cup of water that everyone's been putting TikTok edits of because it's fun. It's fun. It's like they're talking about fatal flaws. Annabeth is pretty straightforward. Like I know my fatal flaw. It's hubris. It's pride. Right. Like duh.
Daughter of Athena, ass move. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course, Percy's fatal flaw, which has been like loyalty, which I clowned on
Mhm.
to hell and back in the books because I'm like, it's not a real flaw. Come on, you can do better than that, Rick. Come on. They actually managed to portray it as a flaw decently well in the series by just doing a few like little tweaks where
Yeah. Do anything for your friends, I think it was.
yeah, 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 even destroy the world for them. And when he's like crashing out and having rage issues, that's a bit easier to easier to picture as maybe being a unfortunate thing. And it is actually legitimately something that he has to at least start to work past by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Um
I forgot what episode it was on, but like he dropped the line of like, "I would burn Olympus for you."
but his um in between his powers, them showing off his powers a lot, and in between this whole fatal flaw, he starts to suspect that he might be dangerous, essentially. And yeah, fair. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
It's gonna be a little bit dangerous, my friend.
It is. But Oh, trying to put together the words for it. Yeah, okay, so I think it's around here actually, as they're leaving the island, that Annabeth tells him about the prophecy. At least an abridged version of it. We later hear a more complete version of it, but the way she presents it is
Yeah,
like pretty close to how it is in the books. Child of the Eldest Three will either save Olympus or burn it to ash.
yeah,
Um Olympus to preserve or raise. It's the exact phrasing, I believe. And yeah, he's pretty bummed out by that revelation. He's not taking it all that well. I think it's around here that he also starts to have hallucinations about like him and about like Thalia essentially being the bad guy TM. Which we all know is not going to be the case necessarily, though we also know that they are in fact going to be each other's greatest ops, affectionate.
yes. They're going to tease that like, oh no, they're kind of rivalish maybe before they're just like, oh no, that's my sister.
Looking forward to how they portray that one, because no, they don't get along, but yes, it's mostly funny and very good.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, and I didn't bring up any of this before of Grover with Polyphemus, because it was basically just the book. Here, it's a little bit different, where Polyphemus actually drops, "I knew you were a goat the whole time, you idiot.
oh yeah,
I was doing
Polyphemus is
this so you would."
smart.
Yes, I kind of like it. It made him feel like quite a big threat because like he was dealt in like what 2 chapters in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, here he's kind of like, yo, he low key kind of a boss.
You get the Grover and Clarice team up, but it's to no effect
They
because
kind of
they
failed.
they they really underestimate him, and I guess that's they don't really go into it explicitly, but I wonder if that's how they explain the whole like, well, yeah, Polyphemus was like a baby basically when Odysseus
Mhm.
found him, but he's not a baby anymore. It's been a few thousand years. Not maybe shouldn't have been surprising that he could figure that out, but I think most of the time Polyphemus is characterized as being a pretty like
Stupid.
dumb big idiot.
Yeah, and considering Tyson's level of intelligence, it definitely was quite a bit of the contrast where you just have to like hand wave it away of like, okay, I guess he's a monster. Well, more monster for reasons, I guess. Here it's like, nope, nope, he's intelligent, too intelligent,
But
scarily.
I just imagined Odysseus blinding a roughly Tyson-sized Cyclops, and Odysseus, you're kind of a prick actually, brother. You're kind of Odysseus, what
Not
the
just
fuck?
Yeah, basically Odysseus just like blinded him, pushed him over, said, ha, fucking nerd, I'm Odysseus, fuck you.
And they gave
And
him
then
his
he
social security
like,
number.
you're like, yeah, I'm Odysseus. Go to Ithaca if you want to get pants to nerd.
No wonder Poseidon was kind of upset about that. And I'm imagining that now actually. And yeah, yeah, fuck you, Odysseus.
Poseidon lock yeah, Poseidon locking, he's like, he's fucking 12, bro.
Man, that's fucked up of you to do that, brother. It's fucked up.
You know what? You lost crew privileges.
You lost crew privileges. I'm gonna kill 400 of your men now. Okay. Okay, so they him and Annabeth they go on a boat to try and leave Cersei's island. They do not have the beeswax cuz Cersei says fuck you and takes it back after Percy manages to steal it cuz she's still a magician and a goddess. Minor
Yeah,
goddess, but still.
daughter of, what was it, Hecate, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hecate and
Some
I think usually also Helios, but I could be wrong, or it could just not be this version.
I see. Something that I didn't like at first was Annabeth's sequence of her conquering
Hmm.
the sirens.
Yeah,
Because
so,
basically, here, may I describe it? Oh, you wanna?
well, just like tell them how we got here. Tell them how we got here first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as Leah had said, uh, the beeswax got yoinked. Only Percy was tied up to the raft or whatever boat they're on, because Annabeth was like, I kind of want to list, or no, we only have beeswax enough for one of us. So basically, that was the situation. Annabeth was going to put it on. Beeswax gets yoinked. Oh no, she's vulnerable to sirens, and she goes onto the island since Percy, is tied up. So she starts to get lured in by, oh no, Luke and Percy are fighting. Only I could bring peace to them. And then she stabs one of the sirens and like, oh, okay, yeah. Then she kills the other siren. And then, Athena herself is like, good job, my daughter. And then Percy's like, damn it, Annabeth, you fell for the illusion.
Yeah, it was a pretty like it's a pretty
Intricate.
harrowing moment. It was a lot of ups and downs with that one. That went from, like you
Yeah.
said, like at first
It,
kind of disappointed, like, oh, Athena's just bailing her out here. That's kind of not really to her character.
yeah.
Like, are they just gonna
In
like
fact,
do it
I
like
was
that?
also disappointed in the fact that she had to overcome being the one to help her friends. I was like, that's kind of lame. Her main thing is hubris, but like, that kind of sucks. I'm like, no, the real hubris is thinking you're doing such a good
Your
job.
mom
Your mom is,
cares.
yes. She's just like, you're so smart, my daughter. Like, thank you, mother. And like, oh, there it is.
That's the
There's the
siren,
hubris.
actually.
Yeah, it turns out none of the sirens got stabbed. All three were alive.
Yeah, no, it turns out Percy has to rescue her, not Athena. It was so depressing. I went back around and I was like, that was amazing, actually. This
I
is what I
know.
mean. Where I say, yeah, it needs to be mean. The series needs to be a bit more mean about it. This is what I'm
Prey
here for.
upon the parental issues even more.
Yeah, that was rough. That was so rough. We're like, oh,
Oh, it was great.
Annabeth thought her mom cared about her.
It turned from such a
No,
mediocre sequence to gold.
to devastating. 10 out of 10.
It was
Oh,
great.
mm-hmm. Yeah, she has a realization about it too, where it's like initially she's like, well, first I just thought that I have to be the one to fix everything, and haha, I know that's not going to be the case. But then she realizes no, her
She's
pride
like,
relies on being able to get her mother's attention. Pride relies on being
yeah,
able to get for mommy to be able to look at her, which again,
literally turns into a moment of, do I have mommy issues?
this is a beautiful companion piece to Mark of Athena. I'm so glad it worked out like this, because what is that book about if not Annabeth's mommy issues and Leo's everything issues? And
Leo is a hot mess, and I love him for it.
yeah.
Leo was the seventh wheel. Hell yeah.
Okay, episode 6. Percy has a dream of Thalia in a cloak over a pile of dead demigods, and this is where we start worrying about her, or you would worry about her if you didn't read the books, you little scamp.
Yeah.
Um. Oh yeah. Also, my second note here was that I found myself appreciating the design for Polyphemus. I guess this is around where I was like trying to have an eye for some of the special effects whenever they did use them, because
Hmm.
they were sparing
Seemed a lot more
oftentimes.
practical. Yeah.
But the way they did Polyphemus, I think, was actually pretty good. I mostly in that I realized as I was looking at him that I never really questioned the reality of him. Like, obviously it's a pretty, it's a Cyclops, pretty odd looking character in a lot of ways, a lot of exaggerated features, but they really did manage to ride the line of never making him look too uncanny or too cartoony. I don't know, look at the live action Snow White if you want what I'm talking about. Over here it looked pretty decent, all things considered. And
I'd say so. He
yeah,
also looked rather hulking as well. Just like, yeah, he's a bit of a threat, ain't he?
not being like gigantic. It
Mhm.
it just it worked pretty dang well. And yeah, it also like I suspected that maybe there were a few prosthetics involved. I'm not like sure, just because the light, sometimes you can see when the light like refracts off of skin when it looks a little off. That to me is like one of my big tells that like it just looks uncanny sometimes, the way the light absorbs or
Mhm.
bounces off the skin.
Yeah.
So that made me, latex can copy the way skin looks a lot better than like anything CG. All it needed to be was just not distracting though, for the and allowing the performance some room to manage that. So good job, effects team. You did good, even if
Yeah.
you obviously had to cut some corners in some ways. A lot of waist up shots,
uh,
for the centaurs and the satyrs.
absolutely.
So, oh yeah, fun thing
I need
here.
to rewatch the Iris message of Chiron to see if he was up or not.
No way. They're not even a little bit. There's ever a time where they could get away with it and no one would notice it'd be an Iris message. I think they just had like
Oh,
a satyr or like a centaur or two like running in the background, and that's easy enough to do. You don't have to do that so high poly.
yeah, yeah. I was just trying to remember if it was like that or not, because I don't think I caught it quite yet then.
Yeah, we didn't really catch it until like episode 7. I
Yeah,
think
when it,
Frog had to point it out to
it's
us.
noticeable.
Yeah, while we were in the Discord call.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So, oh yeah. So around here, Luke starts getting really obsessed with this idea that Thalia would join him if she were here. And which faction Thalia is going to join becomes a question that was never really brought up in the books.
Yeah.
Which even though we know the answer obviously. I still kind of appreciate it, especially since best not to spoil Titan's Curse too much, but obviously Thalia's relationship with the camp is complicated, and it is further complicated by the series in some pretty interesting ways. So while Luke is, while we all know Luke is off as far as like, no, she's not gonna fucking join your Kronos squad. Like, Zeus is bad. Kronos isn't better.
It's replacing a thorn in your foot with a knife in it.
Yeah, yeah. But it is still interesting. It'll still set up some interesting things, especially, if you know the direction that Thalia and Luke's dynamic is going to take as we go forward, especially
Mm,
towards like last Olympian territory. But
yeah.
I don't want to spoil it too much, just in case. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into like spoilers for books that are beyond this, just
Yes,
in
to
case
be
someone's
adapted.
reading as they're going along.
Yeah.
You know. Um.
Instead, let's rein it back and actually talk about Polyphemus being scarily smart here. You
Oh yeah.
remember the trap?
Oh yeah, he sets up a whole trap for them, like painting a random sheep fleece in gold to
Lure
distract
them.
them, lure them in basically, and then shoves them down there.
Yeah, which
Annabeth
is
has to
how
go all invisible assassin.
Yeah, because of that, Percy gets trapped in with Grover and Clarice. Annabeth just invisible hats and is just fighting for her life.
Also, a retcon that uh that actually covers up a mistake that the books made. Interesting thing, the fact that Annabeth calls herself Annabeth does not
Nobody.
call herself Nobody. She doesn't. She says she was sent by
Mhm.
Nobody in the series.
Yeah,
In the book, she calls herself Nobody. And aside from the fact that Annabeth is clearly a young girl, where Odysseus was a grown ass man, and wouldn't sound the same, and Cyclopses theoretically have very good ears. Fact is that
especially this
Odysseus
one.
told him his name in the end. He would have known who
Yeah,
he was by the end there. It's why he was able to set daddy on him at the end of the day. So I guess Rick forgot about that when he wrote that in the book, and then
you
maybe
mean
remembered here.
Rick, who didn't know where the arch
Rick
was reared in,
Reardon forgot
forgot?
about something? What? Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. So Annabeth gets stabbed. She gets stabbed, or no, she doesn't get stabbed. She
No,
like
she gets knocked.
she gets knocked into a wall and brain damaged.
Yeah,
Much
she gets
better.
concussed. I think it actually showed blood on the
There
forehead.
was blood. There was blood in this season. There was blood in this
It
season.
was. Good. Needs more.
Good. Uh,
Yes, traumatize these kids.
so Percy, Grover, and Clarice are trapped in Polyphemus's lair, and
Yeah,
with the actual fleece, they found it like in his lair over there. Luke
yeah,
is outside, and they, uh, you know, uh, he's like panicking over Annabeth. It's clear he actually cares about her. Percy makes a judgment, decides to
yeah.
give Luke the
Remember how we talked
fleece.
about the fate? Yeah, remember how we talked about the fatal flaw being a bit of an actual thing here? Here it is.
Here's where it pays off, because that was a mistake. That wasn't the smartest decision. It wasn't a decision Annabeth or Clarice would have made. It was barely a decision
Mm.
Grover would have made. But Percy made this call, It paid off in the end, kinda. It put them in a bad spot for a long
It
while.
only paid off in the end because Tyson came to bail him out of the
Yeah.
cave.
But he gave Luke the fleece. Luke, he was able to correctly assess that Luke actually does care about Annabeth, which is not something he really even thought in the book. So interesting change still.
Mhm.
Again, like we're a lot of little interesting changes that I think will pay off in interesting ways as we go forward. But again, here Percy has no confusion whatsoever about whether Luke actually cares about Annabeth or not, and he uses this to his advantage to save her life in this moment, even though that means they don't got the fleece no more. Um, they still call the episode "Nobody Gets the Fleece" though, which
They're trying to be cute with the
yeah.
chapter title, but like it doesn't ring the same because nobody's being a thing here.
This is more evidence in my they definitely had a different version, a very different version of the script at some point, slash flat out a different edit of the season, because
Mhm.
the fact that the chapter titles allude to plot points that don't really happen in the series is notable. I feel like they wouldn't have done that if they right, because there are more there are more chapters than there are episodes. They had more to pick from, but like one of the first ones is like we played dodgeball with Canadian with like Laestrygonians or with giants or something like that. Um, and they never actually do that. They literally are on a dodgeball court like at PE in the book, but over here they just kind of lob some flaming rocks into a
Rock.
forest, and it's like it's kind of similar, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
if you squint.
yeah, so it literally starting. This is I'm forming this case. I think that there was a version of the script at some point, slash maybe even a whole other cut of the movie or a cut of the season that was much more similar to the book, and they had to do some reshoots at some point. They had to do some reshoots.
Hmm.
They had to switch some things around. They cut some things. That's why I think you have those little discrepancies. Well, I think for the most part it like works out pretty well. There you can see the seams.
I see. I see.
So, episode 7, back on the boat.
Back on the boat. Oh, we forgot to mention. Tyson came back, bailed them out, had a hippocampi. They're on the boat. There we go.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Tyson bailing them out, but yes, the rest of that. Episode 7, my first note has to do with they come across an Aphrodite kid that's working with Luke. And they mention him having charm speak, which is real early to be mentioning that.
This is true. Which further proves that, like, yeah, Reardon just kind of wanted to give the other kids things.
Yeah, so in the book series, right, the first 5 books, the only players who have interesting powers are the children of the big 3, right? It's basically almost explicitly said that like if you're not one of the big 3, you might have some special talents or two, but
You
nothing
might be
so
Amelia
supernatural.
Earhart.
Nothing supernatural necessarily, right? Like you might just be like pretty good at like with like a bow and arrow, or like
Yeah.
pretty good at stealing, or whatever.
Or you might be like a good pop star or
You
something.
know, you know your way around a car engine pretty well, like
Hmm.
nothing supernatural, nothing magical. That's reserved for the big 3 kids because they're the ones that are supposed to be extra powerful. But then Heroes of Olympus comes around, and Reardon kind of realized he wrote himself into a corner because he wanted to add in more important demigod characters, but didn't want them to all be children of the same 3 when he like so clearly limited that as like you can only have so many. There was a whole
We could
law
only
about
have
it,
so many. Yeah, we could only have so many exceptions to this world building thing.
which is why the only new big 3 characters that are brought up are like Hazel, who was
A
explicitly
dead
born
body.
before Hazel was born before that edict, same as Nico, and Jason, who is just who's directly related to Thalia. They're just brother and sister.
Yeah.
And so the others that are introduced are all like kids of like other minor gods. Hephaestus, not minor, but still big Olympians, but not the big 3. Hephaestus, Aphrodite, like Ares, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And so they just decided to like basically invent
Up the
some new
power scale.
powers for them. Yeah, bump the power scaling a bit in order to make them actually relevant for longer than like one book at a time.
Yeah.
Um, and
Leo's still technically a bit of an exception, but like you still get to see him do stuff that isn't just based around fire.
mm-hmm. But yeah, they give him some new powers here and there. Some of them are direct. Some of them are related to the godly parents. Some of them aren't. Like Frank is a weird exception there. Um,
Yeah.
but charm speak is brought up explicitly because there is an Aphrodite kid in the mix there, Piper. And yeah, they wanted to give her something cool that she could do aside from just like look pretty.
Mhm.
And so she has this little like mild hypnosis talk. Basically, she can compel you to do things with her words.
Yeah, it's speak. That's
Mm-hmm.
charming.
It's
Charm speak.
it is definitely explicitly a retcon, but you know this is the
A
benefit of
retcon we
them.
don't mind.
This is the benefit of them knowing where the story's going, so they throw it in here and now. And there's another change that they're going to throw in because they know where the story's going that I can't wait to talk about, but I'm going to hold back a little longer.
Almost there. We are
Almost
almost
there.
there.
Maybe in anticipation of that, I don't actually
Yeah.
have many episode 7 notes. We meet Blackjack. Tyson calls mom because he's
He
scared.
doesn't speak.
Blackjack doesn't speak. It's very
Blackjack.
sad.
Yeah.
Blackjack. We don't get to hear him with the Jersey accent. I'm very disappointed. They better
Yeah.
add that back
Also, Kronos tells side character Allison to kill Luke.
in. Mm-hmm. And we are also explicitly told, where in the book it was more of a surprise, that the fleece will bring Thalia back. That it will like bring her back fully from the tree. That it
Yeah,
mostly
that was a side effect. Percy outright was like, "Yo, Annabeth, we might be able to bring her back," and Luke was like, "I'm counting on it. She's gonna join us."
exactly.
And then Kronos even says like, "Hey, here's the prophecy they didn't tell you."
Here's a prophecy they didn't tell you. 5
And then like,
crazy tricks that your doctor doesn't want you to know about.
yeah, and then like to our kind of surprise, he just outright said the truth.
He did. Luke was kind of pissed about it. Luke is kind of pissed about it.
Luke is kind of pissed about many things.
Also, isn't this is the one right where it's like for a bit there, Kronos. So he puts the fleece on Kronos's coffin, and
Yeah.
Percy goes to get it, but Kronos tries to like entice him a bit by saying, "Oh, I'll give you the full prophecy." Actually, he starts to tell Percy the prophecy, and then Percy like cuts him off before he finishes the last line and says, "Yeah, no, I'm fine," and like runs away with the fleece.
It's just like, listen, my wife is going to just tell me when things are fine, so I don't need your words.
Yeah. And then he gets stabbed. And he has to really, really use his brain cells there. He has to really like think hard about what to do. He has the magic healing fleece and he gets stabbed and he's like, "Oh, what do I do?"
I'm gonna be honest, somewhere in the back of my mind, I was fully thinking, is he gonna have to wait for Annabeth to tell him to heal himself?
In my brain, I think I even said this, right? That I'm like, I think the only reason he put the fleece on himself in the end was because the Annabeth that lives in his head finally told him to do
yes.
that. Yeah, he had to really think hard, and Annabeth in his head was like, "You're a fucking idiot. Heal thyself." Seaweed brain, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 8. Final episode.
Not yet.
Here. No?
Just don't yes on episode 8, but not yet for that.
Not yet for what?
The retcon.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, not yet. I'll save it. You know.
I'm building suspense. I'm building suspense.
I'll save
Continue on.
I'll save it. So yeah, first off, the big tension here is like what side will Thalia be on? How exactly will all that go down? The Tantalus is taken out of the story.
Dies.
Yeah, he gets hit with the fireball. That's it. I literally have suspected him to come back because I was like, that can't be it, right? That like even in the book, Tantalus felt like a useless character, right? You feel like he's supposed to have some more plot importance, like be related to the bad guy team somehow. He just like isn't. He just like is. There's like no point to him aside from they have to take Chiron out of the plot for a little bit.
Yeah.
And even then, it doesn't really make because Chiron has like more involvement with the plot, right? He's like trying to coach Annabeth to like not tell Percy about the prophecy, and he's being very like reticent about a lot of important plot details. They could have just had him still be camp director this season. I don't think it actually would have affected much of anything aside from no chariot games, I guess. Like I guess you want that set piece, right? So that's why you might bring Tantalus along. But like you could have like Dionysus push for that. Honestly, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it just Tantalus is a character that had very little point at the end of the day, and I think
Even
that
in the
yeah,
book, he had very little
they
points.
had an opportunity to expand on him here, and they just didn't, and they take him out of the plot early, basically.
Yeah.
So he's
Nothing really ceremonious about him either. He's just like, I'm here.
no.
Oh no, Lestragorians. I'm dead.
So there's a big siege on camp that involves a big old battle with all the demigods versus all the giants and the monsters, and
Yeah,
some
I had
demigods versus
said this.
demigods even.
Yeah, I had said this to Lily when we were watching the scene. It was something along the lines of, yeah, I have no faith that the campers are going to win.
I'm not sure about that, but I do feel a bit mixed on the whole battle sequence in general. There wasn't really a big battle in the book.
Nah, they just wanted an end of season climax.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, I don't think you need a big end of season climax every time. I think there's other ways to achieve like some good old uh some good old emotional heights.
Mhm.
But yeah, they kind of just offer that. It feels a little lazy, and it's also, I don't know. I think the main reason why I mix on it is because I know they're gonna have to double back about it, right? Because like the whole thing with Titan's curse is that um well, that they don't want Percy to go on the quest because they feel like he's making everything about himself, basically.
Yeah.
Right, that like the like he got to be the big damn hero for a bit, but this quest isn't about him. They're really, I think, literally worried that him being there is gonna like jinx it, more or less. um
Mhm.
you can't really have that moment where he's once again a bit of a pariah in camp if in the previous season he like rallied the troops with his cool speech and they all won the battle together, right? You feel like after that he should just be like the big guy on
De
campus, right?
facto, yeah.
Yeah, they're bringing him to like some character heights that he wouldn't really achieve in the book until like last Olympian. I think it's a little early for that. I feel like that might have some kind of bad consequences going forward, and that there's not, uh,
The heroic rise in the same way.
yeah. It's like, oh, where are you gonna, you still have 3 seasons left. What are you gonna do with them now?
Mhm. I'm kind of looking forward to see how they handle that. I'm honestly not holding my breath. My guess is they're more or less going to just run through it of like, oh yeah, he's going to tread the same rally everyone type of thing.
Yeah. It I don't know. I like some of the ways that they've been condensing things here, but that's jumping the gun. That was jumping the gun in my opinion, and I'm
Mhm.
not sure. I might not pay off in
Could
the
wait
end.
at another season.
Yeah, might not pay off in the end. So Luke in the Giant Siege camp, and Percy gets his ass beat for like the third time this season, which is fine. Honestly, I like that. Good.
Yeah, very necessary.
Good. Even though he rallies the troops, he has still lost every single fight he's ever had against Luke. And correct, correct.
Which is just canon and
Also,
funny.
this one's kind of brutal though. I think we were like kind of
Oh
wincing,
yeah, it was
right?
like he drew blood.
Luke goes from like a sword fight to just wailing on him. He just starts punching him in the face over and over again until Percy's like literally spitting blood.
Yeah.
Um, and then right in the very next bit, as soon as they as soon as things start to look around, Clarice manages to get the fleece onto the tree. Thalia goes out. She releases a big giant lightning attack that she was saving for the harpies that were attacking her when she got frozen. Um, supposedly. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's your assumption. That's your assumption.
Give it like a few more minutes.
Yeah. Um, and it like hits everyone, especially Percy. It hits Percy especially hard, knocks him the fuck out, to where he's sent to Dreamland, where he talks to Dad for a bit.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah,
and Dad
he's
also says, "I'm taking my son." Like it's Tyson. Tyson's his son.
taking my favorite son. No, he loves them both equally. Um, there's a
Yeah, he only ever invited one of them home so quickly.
there's a really sweet line involving that, actually, is that first of all, the only reason he brings it back home is because Poseidon has like some specific forges down there,
Yeah,
the Cyclops forges, where I assume he brings
for the
all of
war.
his favorite Cyclops children to work there for a bit.
Mhm.
uh Tyson mentions that while he was on the streets, and you get some. I don't think I mentioned that you do get some tastes of exactly how rough it was from out there. A specific scene where you see a bunch of scars on his back. His like shirt rides up as he's like laying down, trying, in the cabin, with Percy, and like it's pretty heart wrenching to see. Uh, he mentions that while he was there, he prayed to the gods for a friend, and he was sent Percy, and he's very thankful for that. And
Again, he's our son. He's
that
everyone's son. He's our boy.
was mm, my baby,
Precious child.
my baby. He's the heart of this season. If like it's all perfect perfection. This is perfection. Also, this is the exact moment where Frog pointed out that you can barely ever see Grover's legs, and we all started noticing, like, oh yeah, no, they really don't like showing them from waist
I
down.
wonder where the budget went.
I
Looks
don't
at
know where the
Tyson.
budget
Oh,
went. I
that's
don't
where.
know. Oh no. And is it time? Can I talk about the Zeus slander? Can I
Yeah,
talk about it?
it's to talk
It's
about it.
Zeus slander time. Okay, so about a change that probably actually will pay off in the long run. So, Zeus in the books, as far as the first 5 books go, is complicated, kind of a prick, but not the worst guy ever, right? You get some hints here and there, like he's awful, but like not he cares. He cares in his own
He's
weird
not
way.
that bad. See, he saved Thalia's life.
So, as you go on later in the books, you find more and more that this is really not the case. In Trials of Apollo, especially, which I have not actually read them yet, we're going to soon. I'm just going off what I hear secondhand. As far as like from what I've heard about that one, he's just like flat out abusive, and a lot of Apollo's arc is coming to terms with that, essentially. Uh, which is not exactly how he's presented in the first 5 books, though it's not a stretch, right? Here they just decide to commit some Zeus slander just to really like hammer it home that he's a bad fucking dad, a bad person, because you find out that Thalia was not turned into a tree because she was dying from a harpy attack. Uh Took care of the harpies weren't a big deal. Harpies weren't a big deal. They like told her a message. They gave her a message telling
From Hades.
yeah, from
About,
Hades about the whole prophecy and everything.
yeah.
And Zeus comes by, actually. Thalia's fine. Um Zeus comes by and says, "Oh, cool, you already got the message. Well, how about you go to camp there, live up as a hero, you'll be like my champion and all of that." And Thalia basically says, fuck you." Actually,
For good reason.
you haven't cared about me at all, and if this camp is like your little cult, I'm gonna like take my 2 friends here and we're gonna leave right now. Actually, Zeus
Then
doesn't
Zeus is a
like
piss
that.
baby and says, "Become tree."
Fine, trees you. Yeah, he just
Why does this seem to be a running trend with him?
he turns her into a tree out of spite, basically. It has nothing to do with like saving her life or honoring her. Chiron is told to keep this a secret, and you get why, right? Like, obviously,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Zeus. I don't want to become a tree.
There was like half a second where we were like, Chiron should have said something, and then as immediately after, like, no. One he mentions that Zeus made him like swear to keep it a secret, and he was only able to say something after Thalia was brought back because she wasn't told to keep it a secret. She's gonna tell everyone
Yeah.
immediately, obviously. So And also too, like you get the sense that if he did start telling, Zeus would have made a stink about it and wouldn't have had a problem killing any other camper that pissed him off about it.
Yeah, I
So
mean, the gods already made us think about Chiron being in charge of the
it's
demigods
not even
just
Chiron.
due
Yeah.
to his parentage. Imagine if he went around blabbing about the prophecy. Yeah, no, bad things would have happened.
Zeus like, but you're gonna betray us. You're a son of Kronos, said Zeus, the son of Kronos. Whatever. Um, not as far as I see it. Most likely, Chiron was not doing it just to protect his own skin. If he was, he wouldn't have said something now before Thalia had the chance to say. He would have let her be the one to tell everyone this. I think literally he was just trying to protect the other campers. That's how I read it.
That's also believable.
Yeah. So,
Personally, I think it's a little mix of all of it, just because, yeah, his main priority is definitely those kids over himself.
yeah, Thalia's back. Percy goes from unconscious to conscious again, where they have a little stare off, and basically the season ends like right there, unsure of how this dynamic is going to go, whether who Thalia is gonna be behind, especially after the whole Zeus thing. You get the sense she has every reason to actually go with Luke. So
Yeah.
let's see how season 3 plays out with that. My final note here really is that between Kronos and Zeus, it's like the bad and worse option.
Mhm.
Because we're gonna be actually meeting a Titan for the first time next
Atlas.
season. Yeah.
Yeah.
My assumption is that we might be getting more crumbs about Kronos, because you can't make Zeus out to be that much of a dick and not balance it by also showing the ways that Kronos is also demonstrably the worst parent, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
Kronos
wonder,
ate his
like,
children.
yeah, but like it's one thing like hearing some stories or like backstory. Another thing seeing effects of it, which we obviously see the effects of this god regime.
I think because they've managed to make us like this version of Poseidon quite a bit, and even this version of Hades an okay amount at least.
He's not bad.
Not bad. We haven't gotten much of. I mean, Nico's coming next time, so my assumption is we're gonna get more of
Yeah.
him if we were ever to. Um, there are opportunities, I think, to really actually hammer home why Kronos why Kronos is not the best as well, not necessarily a better option.
Hmm.
Um yeah, my worry is that in the effort to commit some Zeus slander, which I love Zeus slander. I love Zeus slander so
They're
much. Oh my
going to
god.
forget to show why Kronos is also a bad option.
Yeah, outside of him just being generic evil bad man.
Mhm.
They managed to make Zeus so viscerally hateable here. They're gonna have to tread carefully, I think, if they want to make me not just want to side with Luke.
Yeah.
So yeah, and but again, a lot of changes here. Obviously, little like small and a few big, but honestly, not too many. Not too many big. Outside of the one. Um, some of them could pay off interestingly. Some of them, we'll see. I'm now though kind of sold on this universe more or less. I want to see how it. I want to see how it pans out.
Definitely gonna be a type of wait and see.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. So what we got like good like hour 50, nearly 2 hours out of that. Hour 45 off the recording where I usually chop off the opening pre-roll, all that. I think we're good. We're gonna be back here for Mark of Athena.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
keeping this VOD up on my main channel for a little longer than I've been keeping my VODs typically. A few days, I think. Just until the VOD goes up on my VODs channel properly. Just trying out different things with the whole YouTube streaming thing, trying to see how it
Balances.
yeah. I'm testing the waters with this whole algorithm thing, trying to see what I can do to make it to 500 subs, 1,000 subs. Let's hope
Mhm.
soon. Um,
Hell yeah.
yeah. Hence all the experimentation. So it's gonna stay up for a little bit. Um, and yeah, we're gonna
I
see
also
how.
have high Yeah, I also have high faith for your next coming video, which should be coming soon, right?
It should be. It should be. I was supposed to work on it today, and then I didn't. So tomorrow. I mean, at least I'm not DMing tomorrow, so I'm rather
This is
just sitting
true.
in on a
Boots
session.
is.
Yes, yes. So hopefully tomorrow. Well, first I'm gonna be working on Mark of Athena. We'll see. Something came up recently as far as like I have a commission coming up that should take a decent amount of time. I'm hoping to finish the How to Train Your Dragon videos edit in between that because I have everything done. I literally just need to assemble. Like recorded, everything drawn, all the clips clipped and organized. Just literally need to put everything down in that timeline, which takes a few days, but you know, it's not the hard part. Um
Yeah.
and I'm more used to the editing program that I'm on now too, so that helps.
Oh, nice.
I've started to get used to DaVinci Resolve a bit. Um, so yeah. Uh, we'll see. I'm hoping for very beginning of February. If the commission starts taking up so much of my brain space, because that's guaranteed money in my pocket. So I'm low key
Mm.
prioritizing that until it's done. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, understandable.
Yes. So, but yeah, immediately after that, though, I'm hoping for either I'll put together a quick Lore Olympus video, or I will go all in on the Pixie Hollow idea that I came up with recently. And we'll see though. That one I think is probably going to be relatively long, so I was hoping that one would be a thing I'd work on in the background, but it's taken up so much brain space. I feel like I kind of have to work on it. You know, strike while the iron's hot a little bit.
Yeah.
Need to get started on it before the
Also, the second,
hyperfixation fades.
yeah. Also, the second you start opening back up the Twilight series books, I'm slapping them out of your hand and saying this was a small project.
I'll just watch
Remember?
the movies. I'll just watch the movies. The Lore Olympus one, you mean? Yeah, yeah. I
Yes,
have a whole
yes.
thing. I was like drafting the first couple paragraphs of that one, but I need to actually read the damn thing first. It should take a does not take me long to get through one web comic. Typically, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Might force you to read them depending on timing. No, no. Focus on Mark of
I wouldn't
Athena
be
first. Focus on
opposed.
Mark of Athena.
Yeah,
It's
okay, okay, okay.
long. Okay. Let's wrap up in that case.
All right. Well then, lurkers, chatters, here for a little, here for a while. I thank you all the same. This is Luck powering off, and remember, everyone, lucky days.
And 3, 2, 1.
Good
Good night.
night.